Badu 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 badu. I am so happy to be back with you guys doing this again. I haven't done one of these in so long, and I'm just so happy to be here talking to you guys. Today we are going to be talking about family drama while we're making a bouquet. And you know, I've got a different type of color scheme here because fall is approaching, sadly, and kind of not sadly. And fall have a love-hate relationship because fall is the precursor to winter, and I don't really like winter as much. I'm just a summer girl, but fall is just like reminding me that winter is coming. Even though I do love fall, it's just like, damn, it's really about to get cold now. The topic today is something that I have struggled with so much over the years, and it has plagued my mental health. So I want to give you guys some advice about some things that I've learned dealing with my toxic family member. And if you have a toxic family member or family members, I understand how difficult it can be to navigate that. There's so much nuance in this situation because this person is blood. This person is a part of my family. But just because a person shares your blood doesn't mean that you guys have to have a relationship. I did do a Substack article about this because I just want to express, if you don't follow me on Substack, you should definitely go there. I find my expression comes so easily to me when I'm writing. Not that I can't speak well, I can speak well, but I just write so much better. So if you want to hear my words and see my love for words, then that is where I'll be writing at. These are the flowers that we have today. So beautiful and very matching my vibe right now. Got some accent flowers. And these are so beautiful. I hope these last me like at least a week and a half. And these. Such an interesting color of flower that I just couldn't pass it up. I thought it would be a nice accent to our bouquet. All my life growing up, I was told, you know, family is everything. This is your sister, this is your mother, this is your brother, things like that. You know what I mean? But then at the same time, I was also told, don't let anybody disrespect you. If somebody isn't treating you with the golden rule, you know, then they don't deserve to be in your life. These friends aren't good for you. You know, my mom would be helping me with my friend groups and like, this girl was doing this to you. Maybe you shouldn't be friends with her. Maybe you shouldn't talk to her at lunch tomorrow. But my sister was doing these things to me. So when I was growing up and in high school especially, it was hard for me to navigate that relationship and figure out between, should I be concerned about this behavior? Should I continue to allow this behavior to happen? Should I just ignore it because she is my sister and we're gonna forgive each other and be fine the next day? Until we weren't. But just because somebody is your family doesn't mean that you have to have a relationship with them, because you are a human being, and any relationship in your life, you deserve to be treated with humanity, respect, and love. And sometimes the people that are supposed to be giving you that the most just aren't. And that cannot be ignored, that cannot be sideswiped just because that's your mother, that's your brother, that's your sister. And this concept is something that is so hard to come into terms with because it's sad, it's hurtful. You want your family to be there for you, those people that are in your life that you've lived with all your life and that you both maybe came out of the same womb, or like that person raised you. You want that person to be there for you. You want to have a good relationship with that person, but that person doesn't want that with you. So even if that is your family member, there's absolutely no shame in denying a hurtful relationship in your life. Dealing with toxic family members can take a huge toll on you mentally. I've dealt with it. I've been dealing with it for years. I'm going to give you some of my thoughts and some tips for dealing with it, and ultimately what it may lead to. Depending on what family member it is, there may be different nuances to your specific situation, but overall the point is still the same. I personally do not have a good relationship with my sister. I haven't had a good relationship with my sister for a very long time. And it's gotten to the point now where we don't talk at all. We don't talk to each other. And it's pretty fucking sad. I can't lie. It's definitely not something that I would wish on anybody, but this is what I've had to deal with. And so I think I'm well qualified to give you some advice on your situation. The first thing that is extremely important, especially if you live with your toxic family member in any situation, but especially if you live with them, is to always choose yourself and always respect yourself. This has been a big one for me because there's been so many times where I've gotten into arguments with my sister and everybody thinks that it's okay that she gets to disrespect me and that I just have to allow it because she's my mother, she's my sister. That is not okay. Nobody gets to treat you any type of way just because they're a part of your family unit. I have friends that are treating me better than my own blood. Why would I choose that relationship over that relationship? You know what I mean? Why am I going to choose to allow you to disrespect me and diminish my value by allowing you to treat me in a way that I don't want to be treated, in a way that I'm not treating you? It doesn't matter how others may perceive that. Your family may try to put you together with the family member. Say like your father might try to get you to have a better relationship with your mother and tell you just talk it out with her, just do this and do that. Or like in my case, my mom would always try to pull me and my sister together, try to make us talk, or just be the middleman, or just straight up take her side and be like, you're the older sister, this and that, this and that, this and that. Don't allow that to affect your mind and affect your judgment in a way that makes you disrespect yourself by allowing someone else to disrespect you. It doesn't matter who they are. Nobody is allowed to disrespect you. Always remember that. You need respect, so you demand respect. You do what you have to do. You put locks on your things, lock your door. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can demand respect. Like say you have a younger brother or younger sister or someone who keeps stealing your stuff. I dealt with this a lot. I put a lock on my door. I didn't do certain things for my sister because she wasn't coming to me out of respect or a sisterly bond. She just wanted something from me, and as soon as she got that thing from me, it was back to hating me. It was back to treating me like shit. And I'm not gonna allow that relationship into my life. Quite frankly, if I don't allow that from a stranger, I'm not gonna allow it from you. It is what it is. Like, don't allow people in your life to try to be like, this is your family. Well, if they were my family, then maybe they should be treating me better. Maybe they should be loving me the way that I deserve to be loved, and not people who I've known less time than them. My next piece of advice is to journal and to find clarity in your situation, because there's been a lot of times where I just did not understand what was going on, and I felt like I was alone. I felt like there were not other people who were dealing with this, because I have friends that have such beautiful relationships with their mother, beautiful relationships with their sister, and it makes me jealous. It makes me extremely jealous. It's just like you going to the daddy-daughter dance and your dad isn't there because your dad's not in your life, which I also dealt with. And it's just like seeing that can make you just so hurt, because you want a good relationship with your family member. You want to have that relationship. So I had to do a lot of journaling and a lot of meditation and just like asking the universe what to do. And when I started to do research and figure out that there were other people dealing with the same things that I was dealing with, and also to precursor this video, we are pretty sure that my sister suffers from narcissism. So that adds a whole other layer on top. When I sat with myself and came to these conclusions, I started to feel sympathy even. I started to feel bad, and then I want to have this relationship, I want to do this, but then it's back exactly to where it was. And if you have been through the situation, you try and try and try and try again and again and again to have a relationship with this family member, and every single time it just seems to never work out. It just seems to never work out, and that's because it's one-sided. You cannot try to mend a relationship where one person is putting in the effort and wanting to come together and the other person is just not even trying. You don't need to put your energy into that. Protect your peace, protect your energy. And I also journaled about that. I also asked the universe, you know, there's these things that I'm trying to do and they're not working. It's not helping. We're back exactly to how we were before. And every time we're trying to have a conversation about it, it turns into a screaming match. And doing journaling and all those journaling entries made me realize how upset this was making me. I reread so many journal entries and I was just like, it's the same pattern over and over and over and over again. Somebody has to break the pattern, and it's gonna be you. It has to be you. Because we're protecting our peace, we're protecting our energy. We're putting our energy where it's being reciprocated, family or not. I don't know who came up with this term, but blood is not thicker than water. It's not. You should never continue to jeopardize your mental health and jeopardize your physical health trying to mend a relationship or trying to have a relationship with someone who is not treating you the way that you deserve. My next piece of advice is actually super important if you live with your family member, and that is to not step out of character. And this is extremely hard. It is extremely hard. There is nobody in the world that can make me as mad as my sister makes me. And I know I'm not the only one, where you have somebody in your family or even just your family members because they know you, they live with you, they know how to push your buttons. And that person just brings out the worst in you. Just bring out the absolute worst in you. They know exactly how to push your buttons. They know exactly how to make you just crazy. And I've gotten to that point before where I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even recognize how I was just acting. This person literally just made me so upset. I don't even know where my mind just went. And that's so bad. That's so bad for you. That's so bad for your energy. And to be honest, you're probably giving them the reaction that they want. They want to scream. They want to yell at you. And I'm not like that. But as soon as someone is coming at me like that, I'm getting out of my character and I'm becoming like that because I want to be heard. But you got to realize that you don't always need to be heard. You don't always need to explain yourself. And if this person in your life hasn't been treating you the way that you want to be treated, there's no point in continuing to try to explain your feelings to that person and to continue to try to get them to understand. They're not going to understand. They don't understand because they keep doing the same thing. That's why we're still at the same point that we're at. So don't step out of character. Happens sometimes, but always strive to stay yourself. Always, always, always strive to keep your dignity and remove yourself from the situation. Don't constantly engage with this person. And I know it especially gets frustrating when, like, say that it's your brother or your sister and your mom is like low-key backing them up, and it's just like, you guys truly don't understand what's going on. And I've dealt with that before. Trust me, I understand. Where the rest of your family doesn't understand the dynamic that's going on here, and they truly don't get it, or they don't want to get it. I remember so many times I had to tell my mom, I am not going to be disrespected. I don't care that she's my sister. I don't care that I'm older than her. I don't care who it is. Don't allow your family to get in your head, because I've seen that so many times. It's not malicious. Your mom, your father, whoever it is that's trying to get you and this family member to be on good terms, they just want that, because it's just sad to see that. It's sad to see like hatred and negative energy between a family unit. And it makes the entire family dynamic bad as well. That person's character, that person's flaws, that person's need to be in this negative energy is not your burden to carry. So don't step into that pit with them. Stay yourself, stay in your light. Progress so far, I wasn't sure how these colors were gonna do together, but I kind of like it. It's kind of nice. Ultimately, if you find that the relationship is not getting better, this person is continuing to treat you horribly, and it is affecting you deeply, is affecting your mental health. I mean, this in my personal life has truly affected me. I love my sister. I want us to be like the sisterly bond that everybody seems to have except for me. But it's just not happening. And it might not be happening for you. You and your mom's relationship may not be getting better. Or maybe when you're an adult, you'll be able to better talk to her where she doesn't see you as a child and she sees you as an adult now. But maybe that needs to happen for your relationship to work out. But in this moment, if it's not getting better, if it's affecting you, then you have to make hard decisions. And that hard decision being to cut that family member off. And that's ultimately where this is leading to. This is your video. your reminder that it is okay to cut family members off. Anything in your life that is not serving you needs to be deleted. It's hard. It's not an easy decision. Just because somebody is family doesn't mean that they get a pass. Doesn't mean that you just have to forgive them and forget because you guys share DNA. People are people, whether they are your family or whether they are strangers on the street. And you judge all of these people accordingly to how they treat you and how they show up in your life. And if you and your family have a good relationship, of course you put your family above anybody and everything else. But if you have a family member that doesn't do that for you, that doesn't share that same sentiment, that disrespects you and simply doesn't show love for you in the way that you show up for them, then what's the point in keeping that relationship around? And this does not mean that you can't have a relationship with this person in the future. This doesn't mean that, oh, you know, I cut you off, so I'm never going to talk to you again. Sometimes people just need to mature and they need to experience life, and that changes people. And sometimes you could have had a bad relationship with your mom or your brother or your dad now, and then years down the line, you guys hash it out, you guys talk to each other, you guys are older now, and it's better. But right now in this moment, if that's not happening, then you need to cut that person off. Ultimately, you cannot change people. You don't change people. People change themselves. And you have to prioritize yourself. And also something that you cannot deny about people is when you have a bad relationship with this person, your mom, your sister, and you try to talk to this person doesn't want to have the conversation with you. This person gets deflective and defensive with you when you're trying to just have a conversation about your relationship, have a conversation about some of the things that have been going on, or this person takes no accountability. That is a big red flag that they are not ready for your relationship to come back together. There's been so many times over the years where I've tried to have conversations with my sister. I've taken accountability for things that I've done wrong because I got out of character. I did things that I regret, and I apologize for them. I came and I was vulnerable and I said, I love you. I want to have a relationship with you. I'm sorry about this and this and this and this. There's so many things that I cannot take back, but I want to make this work. And she was not there for the conversation. She took no accountability at all, as if all of this, everything is completely my fault. And if you're dealing with that, that person is not ready to have a relationship with you. They still need to do some work internally before they can mend this relationship with you, and you need to be okay with that. If you have a bad relationship with your parents, for example, like your mom, one thing I do suggest is that you send your mom letters, because like I said earlier, if you're watching this video and you're like a teenager, you're like in high school, sometimes your mom is just going through a lot. One, she's going through a lot. A lot of times our parents don't see us as equals. They see us as adult and child, and that dynamic can cause issues because your feelings are not being heard. And if you're in that situation, I would write your mom or your father a letter. Write them a letter so that they're not standing with you in front of them and having all these precursor thoughts and opinions. You know, have them just read the letter, write how you feel. There's no way they can say that you were being disrespectful, that you were talking back or anything, because it's a letter. So that is something that I do suggest if you're dealing with your parents. And sometimes the relationship is toxic right now, and it won't stay that way forever. Your family, there's a lot of ups and downs in families, and that's something I want you to understand. I am telling you to cut off your family member if they are extremely toxic to you, if they have done horrible things to you, if they just keep treating you bad and keep disrespecting you and are not accountable for that, have not apologized for that, or they continue to do the same things. That person has to be cut off. And also being okay with the fact that there are some relationships that just aren't worth mending. There are some people, they just are the way that they are, and they're stuck in their ways, and there's just not much that you can do about it. And it sucks. It really does. It really does suck. There's always something that we have to learn in this life, and there's something that that person has to learn in this life. And so take these lessons, learn from them. When you allow people, doesn't matter if it's a romantic partner, a brother, a sister, or a friend, when you allow people to continue to disrespect you and continue to do you wrong, your value diminishes with every time that you do that, because you're showing people that you don't even respect yourself. You're showing people that you don't even love yourself. So respect yourself, prioritize yourself. Don't let people continue to fuck with you. I do recommend family therapy. I do recommend individual therapy and then coming together as a family. I think that's what we need to do as well. I absolutely do recommend that. All in all, you deserve the relationship that you desire. You deserve the love that you give. And if somebody's not giving that to you, they don't deserve to be in your life. And it doesn't matter if you share the same DNA. You need to allow people to grow and develop and mature on their own, and then you can come together. Come closer, come closer, come closer. I really hope this video helped you. I hope it encouraged you, and know that you're not alone. You are loved, and you deserve all of the love from others. This is my bouquet. Isn't she pretty? I love her. I was so like, I don't know if these colors are gonna work together, but I think that they do. I think that they're beautiful. So, bye from me and my bouquet. I love you guys. I will see you guys in the next video. And remember, it ain't nothing to cut that bitch off.